Hi everybody, how you doing? It's me, Leslie Zazoo Plazz, also known as Zazoo Plazz, back in a different spot this week. It took me a while to find my place in the woods. I feel like the guy in the Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield, like going in the woods. Everything is serendipitous. Everything could be a chance encounter. Time to slip into a alternate parallel universe. I love that book. But it's that deep and that quiet. Today, July 11th, 2021. Some creatures making noise, ducks and whatever. I got my jacket today, so I don't rub up against something on the tree. I can lean back, hear the water rushing in the background, but it's damp, kind of humid. We've had thunderstorms all week, so I was like, the clouds start coming mid-afternoon. You're like, I better get out here before I get stuck in the thunderstorm. There's a lot of downed trees and brush everywhere because we had a hurricane, Elsa, sweep through Connecticut this week, and there's trees and branches down everywhere. It's a mess, really a mess. And we had my mom's little burial this week on Thursday. It was just a little group of my aunt and uncle, my husband, me, my dad. We went out there. They, pastor came out, said a few words. They just put the little box on this little platform with like AstroTurf on top of it, and you pray, and then they kick you out. But not before I had a few words with the guy from the funeral home, because they made some mistakes on my mom's obituary. Turns out there were 2 copies of it. This is what happens, that my mom died during the shadow of Mercury retrograde. No, she died during Mercury retrograde, and then the shadow period happened. So that means that stuff can still kind of go wrong. But no lie, it went forward out of the shadow on Thursday. And that day, they're like, oh, we ran the wrong one. And I'm like, it was the one thing I wanted to do for my mom, because I can hear her. I can hear her saying, Ray, they spelled her name wrong. They put a G at the end instead of an E. And I'm like, you can't make this stuff up. I was joking, I was joking, saying, oh, wouldn't it be funny if, after I helped my dad edit and rewrite the obituary, I put a few things in there. And they put the wrong one in. They put the first draft before anything, my dad even added anything, because there were 2 different people working on it at the funeral home. And I was joking, saying, Mom will never be able to rest if her obituary is not correct. Not only did they spell her name wrong, but they put the time wrong for her memorial service, and they didn't add her name to the list of people. So I said, oh, this is terrible. 3 things that were wrong with it. I said, that number 3. So when they reran it on the weekend when a lot more people can read it. So I said, this is the universe's way of saying, you know what, Pauline deserves way better than treatment than this. Let's run it again, and more people will see it. So that's what happened. So you got to think that, hard as you try, sometimes things just, there was a big bee that just came up in my face and flew away. Hard as you try, sometimes things go awry. See what I did there? That kind of rhymed. So three is an important number. Things happen in 3s, don't they? So I found this picture, went through my box of photos. I'm looking for photos to put into a little video for my mom's memorial luncheon. And I'm going to have a mass this week, and then followed by a nice luncheon, the sit-down thing that my dad thought my mom would prefer to a buffet, because they hated buffets, because, well, not even just with the germ thing, but my dad hates, standing there and trying to decide what to get, and it's, they never give you the right amount of stuff, and it's always just like a pan of some kind of sludge. It's like Randy Quaid in Vegas Vacation. Some kind of like slop, green goop. Eddie, I don't know about this. But anyway, so I found this photo of me, my dad, and my mom. The three of us. We were the three musketeers. Look at me, look at my hair. That looked to be about early 90s. I got my pointy shoes on. I'm dressed to go somewhere and meet somebody. I don't even know who took the picture, but I had the big poof on my head, and look how pretty my mom looks. She had that color. That was a really nice color. And then my dad has his uniform. It was always the polo shirt and the khaki pants, or in the summer, the khaki shorts. Anyway, I remember when my mom had just died, my dad, he says, and before everybody else showed up, he said, this is the last of it, huh? He said, this is the last time the three of us are going to be all together. I was born with, astrologically, Venus and Mars conjunct in my chart, which means they're together. They're within a few degrees in my chart. They're going to be together again this week. It happens sometimes. Venus is the female and Mars is the male. So basically, throughout my life, I've been in there. That's been my ideal, Venus and Mars working together in harmony. The yin and the yang, the black and the white, the feminine and the masculine. I've got a pretty good balance of energies. The feminine energy. We all have male and female energy in our makeup. And so yeah, that was for such a long time. Anyone who's an only child can relate. Maybe some more than others. Maybe to some extent. You spend a lot of time alone. Anytime you have three, there's always this feeling like two go off and, they're closer and you're kind of left out. Third wheel. There was some of that too. I spent a lot of time alone, but it wasn't, see, the thing is, that's why I can be alone. Pretty much prefer it, actually. Because I was used to it, sitting in the back seat by myself, go in my room. That's how I work. That's how I center myself. I go off alone. I do my thing. I don't really need anyone around to be happy. I can entertain myself quite well. And I think that sustains me, So, today's 7-11. The other thing I wanted to talk about today, while we're on numbers, so 7-11, it's a very good number. It's not just, the place where you could go and get those big drinks, Slurpees or whatever. It's your angels telling you that you're being guided from above. 7 is as above, so below. 1 is the spiritual being connected from earth to heaven through those two, that portal there. See? So it's a sign, if you see those numbers a lot, that you're being guided to use your gifts and your talents. You know, like Jesus and his apostles. You know, the apostles went out and they cured people, and they used their natural talents for healing, for, you know, driving out demons. And basically that just means to get rid of negative energies, to transmute them into a higher energy, like a magic wand. Magic fairy dust, you know. So, and those tools, they say, consider it like, you know, you go on your program like Word or something like that, and you know, on the strip, the toolbox, right? You've got your toolbox at the top of the page if you use those kind of tools online or whatever, and it's a toolbox. So what is in your toolbox? Today I was thinking about people I used to work with in the early 90s. I was in financial services. I know it's interesting because I had just gotten back from a job. I was in Miami for a few months, and I was, you know, came back. My mother made me air my suitcases out on the patio because she says, I don't want those cockroaches in my house. You put them out there. So I'd have to dump all my stuff outside on the patio and let all the, I guess the cockroaches went about their business. And then, you know, and she let me come in the house. So after that, a couple days later, she said, she saw this ad in the paper, and this local insurance firm, financial services firm, was looking for people, salespeople. She's like, why didn't you go for this? And my typical response would be, why? No. If my mother was telling me to do something, the answer was usually, I don't think so. But she persisted. And I'm like, she's like, what do you have to lose? Just go, you know, and try out or whatever, put your resume in. And I wasn't doing anything, so I said, okay, all right. And I ended up getting hired, you know, because I didn't care. And that's what usually happens. You know, I didn't have any particular place to go. I needed a new adventure, and I was single, so I went. So anyway, there's stories about it in the Zazoo book. I got this, you know, periodically the parent company, which is no longer in business, would send us, you know, little promotional things that we could hand out at seminars and things. And this came up today when I was looking through my big box. It's a you know, like a scout knife. What do you call it? My dad used to have one like this. It's got a, what do you call it? Pocket knife. It's got little scissors, see? So you could cut stuff, and then it's got like a nail file, so you can smooth things, and it's got a little knife, so you could cut things. So it trims, cuts, you know. The knife you can use to keep things, sharp, right? Sharpen something. And that's learning, right? Sharpening the saw or whatever. How am I doing? And cut with the scissors, that's simplifying. Smoothing with the nail file is eliminating the rough edges. So if you need to give forgiveness somewhere, things are a little rough, you know, like choppy water. You know, smooth things over with people, right? Be smooth. So it says, it was All America Financial was the company that isn't in business. It was out of Worcester, Massachusetts. And it says, the VEL, the universal tool. Now, the VEL was a short nickname for the very exceptional life No lie. It was called Very Exceptional Life. And it was life insurance that allowed you to, it was like mutual funds built into it. So you would pay your premium, and the premiums could then not only pay for the insurance, but they would go into these annuities or types of mutual funds that you could then, move around and get interest on. You'd earn. It's like two birds with one stone. You can save for retirement while having protection in case, for life insurance. So we were encouraged to sell a lot of these. So we had these little, these little tools that we could go out and give to people, and But so they were really a metaphor. I'm watching some of the people I was in the business with. They're on Facebook doing videos and stuff. I'm like, oh, there's so and so. Yeah, he's still in the business. I got all my licenses, all my 6, 7, 63, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But okay. But I never noticed this before. So I'm looking at it. I'd say the letters VEL. If you turn it around, the letters LVE, like love, right? There's no O, but but the same letters are in love. The universal tool is love, right? And then I started thinking, very exceptional life. My mom lived a very exceptional life. So this is kind of a metaphor, and it brings me around to that. I'd say, this picture reminds me, this was taken down at our beach house in Rhode Island. This was the height, this was the prime of my mother's life right there. She was probably in her 40s, I guess, in her mid-40s maybe. And now I said, she had worked hard and achieved pretty much everything she set out to do. And what she left behind was, that universal tool, love. L-V-E. L-O-V-E. Love. Leave, love. She left it in all of us who knew her. She had a very exceptional life. Exceptional meaning, very blessed. And in the people she came across, in the way she looked at life, in the way she made the best out of circumstances in which she found herself. There's a lot of stories, and I'm toying with what am I going to say, or if I'm going to say anything when I go to her celebration of life. And I think what I'll just do is jot a couple basic notes and then see what comes to me when I'm there. Might be an opportunity to, comfort someone, or reflect on something that maybe my mom wanted people to know about her. You just never know. In the past, I would write a speech like a long time ahead, and then I'd get there and I'd be like, it'd be stifled. It wouldn't be natural. And I think I realized recently that the less preparation I put into my speeches, the better, because I'm very good at ad-libbing. I had some other stuff I was going to talk about, and then, it's not necessary. So I get out here and I pick up on the energies that surround me. So my mom was a lot like that. She very much picked up on things, on all kinds of energies. So, I inherited that because she comes from a line of women, strong French Canadian women who are healers in one way or another. So, yeah, I think my tool, my universal tool, is it's got to be communicating, because I seem to do that effortlessly. See? So anyway, so I'm kind of getting bitten out here, eaten up. So one other update I wanted to make. I'm getting ready to launch a Facebook group community. I added a menu to my web page. I'm going to have a media page and a bunch of other places. It's getting fleshed out. And I reconnected this week with a friend, and it was miraculous. She was a friend of mine. We were both in the this group called the Business and Professional Women's Club, and it was in the same town, right down the street from where my mom's burial was. Is this it's a thrift shop where my friend, she was in a high position at a local aerospace company. Now she's a manager of this shop that takes in really high quality things, antiques and clothing, and the proceeds of that help this. It's an organization that takes in kids who've been, left without parents for whatever reason. Parents are, unable to care for the children, and the children are taken, and so the proceeds are helping to educate these children and families and get them back together, and it's just a wonderful cause. So on a whim, I threw my mom's clothes and shoes and things in the car, and after the burial, I just stopped in there and I saw her, and we just picked up right where we left off. She's still such a great lady and such a great friend, a mentor really to me, in a way, kind of like a mom, only she's much younger than my mom, maybe 10 years younger or more. But she was always a mentor to me, and I have, that to look forward to, working with her. And she was thrilled to get my mom's stuff. She's like, I would buy this. So I think that Mom would approve. And so I've kind of found a way to deal with a situation that could have been difficult, but it ended up filling me with joy and just knowing that her stuff went to such a great cause. So I